Good to see you here. I mean, this is stage 2, but it's, I like to call it Plan B. This is the stage to be. I'm really happy you're here. Our next speaker is Joeri Lefèvre. Oh yes, please, a big hand for Joeri. He's a freelance artist, concept artist, and he's going to do a really cool live demo. He's going to talk about developing a new visual style for a new IP. That can be games or animated movie. Anyways, Joeri, take it away.
Okay, hello, well, thanks. So it's going to be two things. I'm going to do a little demo, and then I'll show you the current project I'm working on and how defining a new style actually develops during production of the game. So just a brief introduction of myself. I'm a freelance concept artist. I worked for Battleforge and for Fisher-Price as a concept artist and illustrator. This is some of the work I do. As you can see, it's quite varied, and some personal work. So let's just get to it. Let's start with the speed painting demo. So what am I gonna draw today? I'm gonna try to come up with a style for Don Quixote. I don't know if you guys know this character, but he's a knight who thinks there are giants in the world, and then his friend will follow him there. So what I will try to do is take this classic novel and then add some drunken robots to it, see how this knight will get, how we will see him in the future. A famous saying of him is when he, sorry, the thing is broken. When he goes to fight against a windmill, well, he is actually seeing a giant there. And then, of course, it doesn't work. So let's start with the demo. I found this cool picture online, and I thought, yeah, I really like these colors. So I'm just gonna use this one. And as you can see, it's really small. It doesn't really matter. I'll start my timer. And I'll just pick some colors just to create sort of a base. And it doesn't really matter what I use this for. Just to get like the basics colors down. And I'm trying to look for something abstract already, try to formulate sort of an idea of what I want to draw. And I know I want to put in sort of like a futuristic windmill in there, like a windmill city. And of course the two characters going there. So now we sort of have a base. Let's add some clouds to that. So I'd like to add some clouds. To start off, I already designed some of the buildings I want to use. I just made a stamp. So as you can see, I'll show you here. I already designed some buildings. So this is going to be easy to put them in the scene. I'll put them on a new layer so I can reuse them if I want to. There we have sort of like a windmill thingy going on. That's sort of interesting. Let's see. Let's try to put it more in the scene. Let's add some cools to it. At this point, I haven't really decided on where the light is going to be, but I'm thinking like most of it, this is going to be in like shadow, and over here, you're going to see some light coming through from the clouds, and then I'll probably light part of this. And style-wise, I would love to make this pretty abstract, to show some really abstract shapes in the shadows, to give it a character, that if you would see an image or a screenshot of the thing, and you would see a background element, that you could see it as a distinctive visual note. I'll try to add some of that. I put on preserve transparencies, so I can just paint on it. You see, it doesn't work, but here it works. That's really warm, and it's going to be warm light hitting the thing. Maybe something over here. Try to simulate some details. Well, at this point, like the scene is like pretty boring if you look at it. Like this could be like grass or whatever, and I want to add more distinctive features to it. So what I'm gonna do, I have an idea, is to make sort of bushes, round bushes, that will be sort of abstract shapes that we can reuse. Let's see. Oh, I lost my selection. It's okay. We are designing a new style or environment which needs to have certain character. It's always good to come up with certain design elements that tie the scene together. So what I'm gonna do is I'll add some crazy bushes. Let's see if I like this. Hide it. Let's save it. Oh. Okay. Yeah, we can work with this. I'll add a mask to make them something more interesting to look at. This is just sort of boring. Let's see, we'll. And at this point, like it's still looks fairly common. So I will put in some characters pretty soon. I'll try to shape these things a bit more. Oh, in the mask. Yeah, this is already sort of interesting. Having this like the sky reflecting on top of these round, weird bushes things, and of course, bushes need to be on sort of a they cast a shadow, really diffused shadow on the floor. Yes. Something. Yeah. And I'm thinking we need more elements that would lead our eye to. It would be cool to have a road and put some characters maybe over here walking towards the thing, and then because the story of Don Quixote is all about Don Quixote imagining a lot of stuff, I think it could be cool to make it a part that the cloud actually represents his imagination. So I made another stamp. This one is Don Quixote and his I can show you. Oh, well, you can show you in here. This one is Donkey Shot and his robot friend Sancha. There we have them. Like that, it works already. Like, why bother drawing them if you can reuse them, right? Let's put his robot friend in the front. And let's put our hero Donkey Shot over here. So let's put them a little bit in the scene. We'll add some. The light will, like, the colors will bounce, of course. Wait, ooh, what's this? Ooh, who are you? Oh, doesn't matter how. It's just. Oh. It saves a lot of time when you have your certain elements masked or preserved transparency, so you can just redraw on them as you would wish, but you have to find them and still. So let's add some colors being reflected into from the sky, from the ground. The colors will bounce up. And our robot friend will be like this. Let's also give them some shadows. Let's see how I'm doing in time. Well, we're almost 10 minutes. Still, like, it's sort of an overcast. The light isn't really coming in to show them what they're doing. But still, I think, like, the scene, you know, we could definitely make it, render it out more or whatever, but I still haven't really gotten into something that is very characteristic for this kind of thing. Like, I have the basic things established, like there's a certain norm in the proportions, like everything is pretty high, this is pretty stretched, there's like naturalistic lighting, but I even want to give it a more distinct look. So while I was experimenting at home, I came to find this weird filter from Photoshop, and it's called Crystallize. And what it does, it makes these neat little crystals, as you can see. That's, of course, too much for our taste, but for instance, what if I would make a shield or something over here? And I would basically sort of shade it in and pretend there's volume to it, and then use or filter Crystallize. Let's see what happens. We get like this structure. This could already work, I think, for like making this polygonal sort of design. And if I could just put that in more stuff, this could be like a really distinctive trait of the world these characters live in. So let's see if we can put it in more stuff. Let's try the whole scene like I did before. Let's see if let's mask it out. Let's see if we can put it in some interesting parts. What would happen if you do it here? There. What? Let's see what happens. We get this weird pixelated effect, but let's try that again, but now with a heavier filter. Oh. No, don't do it. Yeah, that is something else entirely. So let's see where we can add more of this. Maybe not so much there. Might work. What about a robot friend? No. No, he doesn't want to. There's something over there. Add some more. Break up that. Sort of weird thing. Let's check my time again. 13 minutes. It's okay. Could add more of this. Let's see my characters. I want to give that robot also a sort of this crystal. I hope it shows actually. Can you see it? Really bad. Yeah, we should work in the dark. This is really sucks. Well, I hope you can see here. There's like this crystal sort of structure. I'm gonna repeat that in him, and I'll try to make it more. I'll add something over there. I think that would be good. I'm sorry for the light. Let's add more. Maybe there are like these circle-ish things. There will be a warm light. There are going to be some cool shadows. Just grade a bit. Let's crystallize it again. See what's happening. More or less. It's weird. Why doesn't? Oh, we could make like a little gate or something over there. Yeah, some lines. Something. I think, yeah, we could add more lighting, to the scene. So let's warm some of that light that is hitting the thing, and you could just do it with an overlay, probably. Yeah. I'm gonna do it really ugly, quickly. And then we can sort of too much. That's too much. Let's not do that. Yeah, it's really dark, huh? Maybe I should. What if I lighten the foreground? Can you see it? Damn, you can't see shit. It is very unfortunate. It's a little bit better, but not really. Well, I think the scene is almost coming to an end. It's very unfortunate that you can't really see what I'm trying to show, but I'll see if I can show some of it, maybe in the clouds, some patterns of. Oops. Let's see what's happening. Ah, you can see that. That's pretty cool. Well, we can work the shapes to make it more of an abstract sort of cloud thing. And let's see if we can just now we could copy it. Yeah, sort of weird. Not too happy about this. Weird hexagonal floating things. Let's see, what's the time? I'll just work a little bit more on it. I hope you can sort of see what I'm trying to do. But as far as the sketch goes, I could always work more on it. But I think it already established, at least for me, the things that I wanted to explore. That's how to use that hexagonal effect. So I have a sort of a start off to come up with a new image, maybe to create a distinct style where everything would be based on polygonal shapes like this. And they can be an integral part of the design line, which I would use. Yeah. Well, we can bring the characters. Let's do just one more couple little things, the characters, and then we'll go on. So add some dirty wait. Give it some dirty reflective stuff. Just to pop it a little bit more out of the background. Hello, robot. Let's give him a leash. Whee! Oh. Well, actually, I would love to have a road here. That would be more interesting. Oh, more for the image. Basically what I'm doing now is just drawing in a mask, so I can later just texture it or whatever, put some weird stuff on it. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna leave it at this. I'm sorry about the quality of the screen, because you can't see jack shit. But I hope I gave you a little bit of an insight about what you could do with this kind of things. Yeah. Let's leave it at this. Okay. It's kind of weird that I can talk to you guys, but like you don't talk to me, and I have to do it with this. It's like we're Skyping, but we're not Skyping. Okay. So that was my little demo. It was actually planned for the lunch, but then they said, come earlier. They left the guy, so then, well, okay. Instead of just noodling, I did this. I hope you guys liked it. Now I'll show you something that I've been working on, and that is, it's sort of an art house game. It's called the Last Inhua. And I'll show you how the style that this game has came about. This is actually early production art, and then it was still called Hiko. Nowadays it's called The Last Inhua. These things always change. I didn't do the characters, they were already there. But, so a couple years ago they started off with this. They gave me mood boards, like go design a style for the game based on these things, and the top left image actually was sort of the key artwork, the key note we wanted to hit, and how the game was going to look. And there were other influences, of course, where abstract patterns should be echoed in the style. As you can see, it's like a very illustrative style. So when I started out, of course, what you're going to do is start with the basic stuff that you were working on before, and it was kind of like a, I don't know, more friendlier, less edgy thing. I always like to call this the dogma, the design dogma that you have. Like, it's not what the client wants, it's not what you are actually looking for, but you have to get this out of you before, at least that's what I have to always have to do, before I come to the spicy stuff where it's happening. So after some other iterations and feedback with the client, we finally got there. And then we added something like this. This was the, and this actually translated very well into how the game looked. And I also designed the style for the caves, sort of like inside stuff. And then, of course, you're going to look for bigger things. So how would an incredibly big set piece look like? And that will be something like this. And it's pretty cool. I like it. It's like this weird combination between sort of like Japanese prints, with a strong graphic influence. Well, the game progresses. This was still early production art, and now we are getting a bit further, and there is more time to explore new ways. So, okay, what if we change? Because the key thing of the style is you have like the white foreground against a very dark background, and the lighting, although it's two-dimensional, suggests sort of a flashlight effect, like you're shining in the dark with a flashlight, which ties to the theme of the game. So what if we would flip that and you get like the dark silhouetted foreground against the white background, and then we established sort of the overall look and feel for the outside scenes, but how would an inside scene look like? So we started exploring, at least I started exploring that. Oh, no, first, here are some props. The key thing of this style that we developed, was the monochromatic colors used in the background. And actually, this is just a grayscale image with a gradient map on it. So it's really easy to iterate on it. You could just work in black and white images and just instantly have a basic palette that already ties to the style you're working in. So that's a really handy thing to do. But then there are inside scenes, so how would they look? And what are you going to do with the colors? Like you already established the basic stylistic convention about it's monochromatic, but if everything is cold, how are you going to show that the fire is warm? So we need to add another color to the palette. So you can see that the initial style direction we came from is expanded as the project goes. So it's not set in stone what you think of in the beginning. This is how it looks in game now. Damn! Like, I'm sorry. Our screens are. This is really bad. You can't see jack shit. But it progresses, and the style became a combination between more like the Japanese oil prints combined with like oil paint on glass. People called it also. It's a weird effect. Well, there are more scenes to explore, new color palettes. Still very monochromatic. Like there's only just two colors, yellow and red, and then everything feeds from that. They're like huge bosses that go hunt you. How would that look? So we designed those, and as you can see, it's still very graphic, abstract, but still like from the early things, the smoke gives like character to the world in the snow. These are ideas for the chapters, because we try to go in a very broad, deliver a very broad, specific visual experience. It's okay to have certain parts of the game that have their own unique style. So for every animal you encounter, you have a different illustration for the character. And there's another piece for the evil spirit you have to hunt. As you can see, this one is way rougher than the other ones. But it's just trying to develop this style and getting the things down that would explain to the team and to yourself, like, what is it about? It's not about how these characters are drawn. It's about the size of the guy and the effects that come off him. And that sort of translate like this in the game. It's not finished yet. If you're interested, we have a Facebook page. It's called @glowfort, and there you can follow all the latest developments concerning the game. It's aimed around the winter, I think. And yeah, that's basically my very short talk. I think I kind of rushed it, but I hope that's good.
It was good.
Okay.
So questions. Oh, and of course, applause. Yeah, one. Joeri is in the back with the microphone, so raise your hand anywhere in the room, and he'll come running.
No
yes,
question.
that guy over here. No, Dimmer? No questions.
Oh, there are no questions.
No questions. I think it was clear.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
I hope so.
I
also have a website.
Yeah, exactly.
So
You're a freelance artist. So, what are the companies you work for?
Well, now at the time they're like a small company called Glowfort, and I work for their. I do those kind of projects, but I also work for Fisher-Price, and they developed an animation, and I kind of did the visual development of the style of the backgrounds. So it's a mix between a big fish and some small fishes. I try not to work too much because I want to paint. So what I try to do is work a year and then take a year off, and then work a year and then take a year off, and then.
Nice one. Is there a difference in let's say the big fishes and the small fishes in the way you work?
Well, no, not really. It's really weird because sometimes you get a lot of freedom from a big fish and you don't really expect it, and then everything you do is good, but then maybe just what you made was good or something. And then for some smaller company it would work, and then they can be really picky, but it depends. Usually the money available to do a specific sort of job dictates the time you have and iterations you can make on an image or on a style. Or that's usually the big difference.
All right. Questions, people. Questions. Joeri will be here all day, I think.
Oh, there's one question.
Yeah. Ah, yes. Run, Joeri, run. That's the other Joeri.
Joeri's revenge.
Hi. I'm just wondering, do you do primarily concept stuff only, or have you done production assets for a game? And if so, how would you advise staging your work throughout the different production parts of the production cycle? For example, like prototype work, then moving on to presentable work, then shippable work.
Yeah, it depends, because sometimes in the beginning when you're working in pre-production, you don't really know what the technical limitations are going to be, especially for 2D artwork, let's say in Unity or something, or maybe like they haven't decided how big the asset's going to be, so what kind of resolution you have to make your final illustrations, because they're more like illustrations. That's kind of the stuff that I showed here. Those things basically are just textures illustrated. Well, what I try to do is make it modular. I know that it's going to be a scene that's going to be in the games, and there's going to be a foreground and a background, and if I layer them correctly, it's going to be easier for me to adjust them to the format I'm going to use them as a final asset, as a final thing. So if you work smart, it's also easier if they say like, no, we want a higher thing, or add more here, or add more there. Then you don't have to repaint the whole image, but you can just like. That's one of the things that I always like to do. You just think about it that there are certain things that could be separated, and keep them separated. And if you know you're going to use them in the end, if you're not going to use them in the end, then just make the most awesome stuff ever and don't care about how you get there. Just flatten everything and whatever. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, don't be shy. Show hands if you have a question for Joeri. All right, I think this concludes it from Joeri Lefèvre.
Oh.
A big hand. No, hands? Oh, no, wait. We have a hand. Yeah. Sorry.
He's Italian. It's like, cazzo.
Yeah. Oh, you were almost there, man. You were almost off the hook.
So, I'm assuming you made the robot background, right?
Yes.
So how did you came up with this concept? Because it's really cool and it has different lightings and stuff.
Oh, like that. Well, actually, I don't really. Well, it was an illustration. It was for Control. I did a Control cover, and all they said was it was about subsidizing the game industry. And then, well, my initial direction was I just wanted to show something cool, paint something cool, and I really like painting the robots. So if you look at it in terms of an illustration, I don't think it's a very successful illustration. It's a beautiful image to look at, but what kind of story does it tell? It's not really very clear that the things come out of it. So actually for this image, all I did was go for an aesthetic that I liked, and that just felt right. So I had a basic idea done, where I knew I wanted to make some robots climbing on top of each other, a sketch. They basically approved everything, perfect line. They're like, yeah, no, cool, keep going. And then I just let it flow, see where it went.
Okay.
That's how I came up with it, shapes and.
Yeah, so just randomly start off and then just go with whatever looks good.
Yeah, well, it's not that random. I already knew that I wanted a pile of robots climbing, so what I was drawing was shapes that represent random robots that are piling. I'm not just looking at clouds and getting inspired or something. That's not one of the things that I usually do. I'm more very design oriented. Like I have an idea in my head that I want to illustrate or explore, and then I'll just make that.
Okay. Thanks for answering my question.
And to add, we asked Joeri to do this cover. We asked Dutch artists to do the cover of Control magazine every time. And you know, if you look at the magazine, this is A3, so it's the magazine. If you fold it out, you have the whole picture. But if you get the magazine, you only see the right part, because that's the front of the magazine. That's the back of the magazine. So you had some restrictions as well. You know?
Yeah, true.
So in the composition, you have to make it the action. You know, you was supposed to be on the right side of the page.
And on the top there was the space for the print, for the logo of Control and the stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, we said it was cool, and please continue. But it was actually really cool. So thanks
Cool.
for that.
Thanks.
Anyone? Okay, then we're going once, twice. Okay, big hand for Joeri Lefèvre, everyone. Okay, there's a 30 minutes lunch break. Please join us again after the lunch break for Andrew Walker. He's the guy who discovered the Blob, the student project from Ronimo Games, and made it into a THQ game, consumer game. And on the other stage, there's an art panel with Dimmer van der Hout and Jan Bart van Beek from Guerrilla Games. Come and check it out in 30 minutes. Thank you.